Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to Lenderman Shop once again. Today I'm talking about my Krator windscreen that I bought for my V-Star 950 and I installed it last year. Unfortunately, things have not gone quite as well. Now I will say I love the amount of wind protection that this windshield offered. Made riding much more relaxing because you didn't have that gust of wind constantly on your chest. But let's take a look at what has happened right here. I don't know if you can see that crack there. It actually cracked all the way through. I'll get a picture, better picture of that for you. So I bought some Loctite, and I'm hoping the Loctite will work for me, although I'm not real confident that that's going to be a surefire way to keep the windshield together. I know that's expecting a lot of the glue there. So this is not a slip streamer windshield. I did mention in my video last year, my installation video, that was very similar to a slip streamer. I forget what the model is that they make that looks very similar to this. But I just want to be clear that this is not a slip streamer windshield. It is a Krator, spelled with a K. So, you know, I paid about half the price for it, and maybe I got about half the product for it. Just for reference, on my older Nighthawk that I don't have anymore, I had a slip streamer windshield on it, and I never had any issues at all with it. That windshield lasted for about 30 years until I sold the bike, so it's probably still on the bike with the new owner. But let's see what I can do with this Krator to get it back onto the V-Star. Because again, I really did like the protection that it offered. It's not a huge windshield, but it does exactly what I wanted it to do, and it made well, it just got really bright outside. It made riding very comfortable and a little bit more relaxed. So, all right, let me give you a close-up of where the crack is here, and I'll refocus my camera. Okay, yikes. Wow, that sun came out and really kind of blurred things up then. Okay, so you can see the crack right there. Oh, there's a good picture of it. So it started out as just like a little hairline crack, and then I should have gotten to it sooner than I did, because now it's completely cracked apart. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue. It's actually hanging on that rubber there like that. The other side is also cracking a little bit right there, and I'll see if I can get some of this Loctite down into the crack so that it seals. I don't know. Capillary movement, I think, is the word I'm looking for, right, to get the glue to sink down in there, and I'll see if that works. And then I think the next thing that I'll do is maybe get a little bit bigger washer to put on here, see if that works. I think up top here, this one is also beginning to crack a little bit. I thought I saw something, but I'll take that off and see what that looks like under there, and I'll do the same over on this one here. Yeah, disappointing. I know. So I don't know if I tightened it too much when I installed it. You know, did I flex it too much and that caused just too much pressure on it? Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, I only had it on for you know, 500 or 600 miles at the most. All right, let me see what I can do here. I'm going to clean the whole thing up, and then we'll go from there. All right, this is where we are since a few minutes ago. I was able to get this grommet out of here, and that actually came out pretty well. I took my needle nose pliers. You could probably use any type of pliers, of course, and just kind of squeeze, and then kind of pushed on through. That came out without too much trouble. Now over here, this piece that had broken off completely was glued quite nicely into this rubber trim piece here. So much so that I actually tore a hole as I pulled it up, and I had to get that off of here in order to get it back up there, or to you know, get it ready to glue up there. I have decided not to take this grommet out. You can see that, you know, it broke right as part of that hole there. And I'm afraid if I glue all this up and then try to put that grommet back into it, this whole thing's just going to break again. So I'm going to, you know, just leave that on there, and hopefully it will all become one, and that will be okay when I put it back together. So I'll have to kind of fidget in there like that. And then And then I'll put some glue in this too. And this hole up here, I'm not going to play around with too much. There it is. We'll see how things go down here on this one. If it goes really well down here, then I think I will take that grommet out and put some glue in there. But I'm going to wait to see how things go down here on this one. All right, and let's see, I cleaned this piece up here. I'll be honest, I didn't do a great job with that. I ended up scratching it a bit because I was trying to scrape it with a razor. I used a little, fine grit sandpaper on that, and did not come up so well. So I don't know, maybe I'll put some solvent or something on there to get that off. All right, so now I got to figure out how to do that. Okay, so here we go. Admittedly, I've never used this type of glue before, and I've never worked on kind of such an odd contour here, so we'll see how it goes. I know already it's going to be a little tricky to hold that piece on there exactly where it should be. All right, but let's see, I got a glove on here just in case. All right, so it says put on sparingly, so that's what I'm doing, sparingly. Let it go right across the top, and into that little crevice. Just make sure it all gets there, okay. Says to hold for 30 seconds. And of course, I kind of want to get the cap back on the glue container over there. I can see already it's not exactly lined up, but it's pretty close. I'm hoping that works. And I did get a little bit on the glove here. Let's put that back on. All right, now the other side I want to get is this right here. And these are just cracks, so I'm wondering if this glue will just kind of sink down in there. All right, here we go. Flex it just a little bit. A little tricky to work on this because it's not flat in any sort of way, so holding it while this is setting up, it's a little tricky. But it seemed like some of the glue got down in there, so we'll see. All right, so I went ahead and took off that upper grommet. I don't know if you can see here, it's just starting to crack a little bit. Right in there. I don't know if you can see, but anyway, I'm gonna put some glue, just like I did on the bottom one. I'll put it right on top and see if it gets sucked down in there. All right, and again, holding these things are a little cumbersome. All right, so this one's not too bad, so I don't need to put too much on. But I do want to, again, flex it just a little bit. See if it goes down there. Probably I should put it on the other side too. I'm not exactly sure what side the crack is on, quite frankly. Yeah, I think it's on this side. So. All right, and then as I discovered, this glue stuff, this Loctite, you can actually just take your finger and kind of wipe away like that. I know you're probably supposed to let that sit in there, but I don't want to get too bunched up on the top there, because I want that grommet to go back on. All right, so I'll set this down. So here you have it. This is the upper one. You can just see that little crack area that's starting. The other upper grommet, that hole there, I saw no indication of starting to crack at all, so I just left that one alone. Nothing going on there. I'm just going to leave it alone. So this one here, I think I filled that one in with glue. It appeared that it sunk in there a little bit. I don't know, maybe not, since you can still kind of see the crack there, but we'll see. And then this one over here, this is obviously the big one here that I'm a little concerned with. I am skeptical that that's actually going to hold. So now I'm thinking about some things that I can do. Maybe use the same connecting rod that's on the frame right now, and then put some sort of clamp that goes up if this piece does indeed fall off. So we'll see. Here we are at about a week after I started this project. See a little cloudiness right there. I think that's the glue that I didn't get off. And the fact that I can still see the crack in there, I'm a little concerned about that. So I ended up putting, after I did the initial glue to seal it, I went ahead and put glue on this side, and I put glue on the other side, and I'll let that dry a few days. So we'll see. The other holes that we did, this one down here, I'll move it over. Same thing. I didn't really clean it up that well, but I did put glue on both sides of this one here and that there, just to see if we can keep that from spreading. All right, so this whole thing's a bit of an experiment for me. I'm really not sure what I'm doing with any of this, but let's see if this holds. So I'm going to go put this on the bike right now. And again, my biggest concern is this one here, because this is a stress point. I do have another idea that maybe I'll try out if this doesn't hold. That might be my last resort for this particular windshield. All right, let's go outside and put this on. I just got everything back together. So far, it's holding pretty well. You have to excuse my incredibly messy garage right now. That's that one down there. It's actually still in one piece, and then everything else has come together. Installing this is certainly not my favorite activity. It's a lot of moving parts, and this arm right here would not even come out of there. It was completely stuck in there, so I had to reassemble the whole windshield based on the position of this arm. So we'll see how much longer this whole ensemble lasts here. But all right, I'll take it for a ride and get back to you. Well, we are way at the end of the summer at this point. As a matter of fact, today is Labor Day, and it is a beautiful day. So I wanted to get out and do a little bit of riding, which was a very short ride today, unfortunately. But I wanted to show you where we are here. This has held up quite nicely, and I have to say this has exceeded all my expectations. I've only put around 500 miles, about 550 miles on it since I fixed it, which I know is not much for a summer. For some of you, 500 miles is like getting out of the driveway. But we've gone over a few heavy bumps on the highways, some back roads. We have been up around 75, 80 miles an hour, maybe once or twice. And the glue the Loctite is holding up. It's doing a really nice job, especially right in here. Again, it's not my most artistic work, but I could have been a little bit cleaner in here. Honestly, I didn't take that much time putting this all together because I didn't think it was going to hold so well. But especially on this point right here, because this, as you remember, that was broken clear across there. And of course, the rubber grommet here is held on nicely too. There's one little spot right in there that I needed to put some glue on. But other than that, and then before I go for a ride, I just give a little, make sure these guys here are tight each time. Just give a little twist on them, make sure it's tight. And if I need to repair this windshield again, I am just going to take it off from here. I think I did a little overkill by taking everything off this past time, but I think we can just take it off from here and there, and then the other two down here and over there. And I think the windshield will come off like that, and then you don't need to worry about fooling with your arms. making all those readjustments, which I had to do. That may have been like a little more than I needed to do for this. So, all right. Again, this windshield was on the lower end, price-wise. Again, you kind of get what you pay for, but it's as long as this holds up, I'll just keep gluing it if necessary. Especially like in these cracks down here, and you can see they're holding. I mean, they haven't gotten any bigger over the last 2 months. And then when I'm not riding it, it's in the garage, under cover, gets warm in there, so I'm sure that plays a little bit into it as well. So, all right, I'm liking this little fix here. And that's it. So try super glue Loctite on a project that you might have. Plastic, I believe you can do plastic. There's different types of glues, the Loctite glues that you can use. So check it out. Thanks for joining me today on Lenderman Shop. Put a comment below. Did it work out for you? What project did you have to work on? All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video.